Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360, live from our studio here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu Date.
And I am Bernice Abubedu Lansa. The headlines in a moment.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank, Nero Prime Water.
Coming up tonight, Ghana concludes IMF bailout program and transitions to policy support arrangement aimed at sustaining reforms and strengthening macroeconomic stability.
Also, hundreds of traders stationed at the 31st December market at Makola in Accra marched to Jubilee House over redevelopment concerns as 253 face possible relocation.
And later in the bulletin, students of the Volta Technical Institute at Mate in the whole municipality of the Volta region depend on water from gutters as school system is becoming dysfunctional.
And in business, Finance Minister assures government of Ghana having no plans for immediate Eurobond market return despite economic upgrade by Fitch ratings.
On the international front, Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention declares Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo's eastern Ituri province with 65 deaths. We have details of all these stories and more, plus your comments, so do share them with us.
Now, Ghana has officially concluded its 3-year IMF bailout program, marking a key milestone in the country's economic recovery efforts. Government and the IMF say Ghana will now move into a non-financing policy support arrangement aimed at sustaining reforms and strengthening macroeconomic stability.
At a joint press conference in Accra, the Finance Ministry and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) said Ghana will now move onto a Policy Coordination Instrument, or PCI, a technical assistance framework designed to support policy reforms without providing direct financial support. Government says the move reflects significant progress in stabilizing the economy, citing falling inflation, a stronger cedi, improved foreign reserves, and a rebound in economic growth. It also points to recent sovereign credit rating upgrades as evidence of renewed confidence in Ghana's economy.
This milestone represents the restoration of macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability. Following the derailment of the IMF program as at end 2024, the government of President Mahama acted decisively to bring the program back on track and to recalibrate it by implementing a front-loaded fiscal consolidation, bold expenditure rationalization, and strong structural reforms.
Ghana entered the IMF program in 2023 after facing its worst economic crisis in decades, triggered by soaring debt levels, high inflation, rapid currency depreciation, and limited access to international capital markets. The country later defaulted on portions of its external debt and launched both domestic and external debt restructuring programs as part of efforts to restore macroeconomic stability. According to government, the program briefly went off track at the end of 2024 but was recalibrated in 2025 through tighter fiscal measures, expenditure cuts, and structural reforms. Officials say the new PCI arrangement will help Ghana maintain policy credibility, unlock fresh investor financing, and support efforts to achieve investment-grade status in the medium term.
PCI is a form of technical assistance engagement with the IMF. It is a non-financing instrument designed to help countries implement economic reforms and signal commitment to policies that the financial market will be very comfortable with.
The IMF has meanwhile commended Ghana for the progress made under the program, describing the country's recovery efforts as strong and broadly on track.
Ghana's ACF supported program has delivered impressive stabilization gains.
Inflation has declined rapidly, reserves have been rebuilt, and confidence in the CID has been restored. Fiscal discipline improved markedly, with a strong primary surplus and sharp decline in the debt ratio. Despite fiscal consolidation, what is very impressive, growth has been very strong and even stronger than what we expected, supported by broad-based private sector recovery and robust exports. These outcomes reflect determined policy implementation and progress in debt restructuring, and they mark an important turning point for the Ghanaian economy.
Right, let's go to the Volta region now, and students of the Volta Technical Institute at Mate in the whole municipality of the region now depend on water from the gutters as the school's water system has become dysfunctional. Some students told TV3 News that they have developed rashes all over their bodies due to the nature of the water they depend on. Correspondent Faisal Abdul-Idrisu has the rest of the story.
This is not a scene any parent expects to see. It is past 7:30 p.m., but these students from the Volta Technical Institute are seen scooping water from the roadside gutters. It was dark and safe, and the water brown. When I asked why, the answer was simple.
From a month now, our water is not flowing on campus. That's why we decided to fetch this water.
So what do you use it for when you fetch it?
Sometimes we use it for gari, sometimes we bath it, sometimes we use it for washing, sometimes we even drink it.
You drink this?
Yes, please.
Why are you fetching this late?
So actually, I didn't go to dining early, so I decided to come and wash over here.
Is this what you people go through every day?
Yeah. Sometimes we be going to that place to
Where?
fetch the big stream over there.
That one is far.
How many minutes do you have to walk there?
So, almost 20 minutes.
So after what we saw the night before, we decided to come here today to ascertain the realities on the ground. And so have a look at this. This is not a pond. It is not a stream. Neither is it a river. It is just stagnant water from the gutters. And that is what the students here are depending on, particularly the boys.
The Volta Technical Institute has battled water shortage since it was established. In 2025, the Community Water and Sanitation Agency installed a mechanized water system, raising hopes that the crisis was over. But for these students, nothing has changed for a school with over 600 student population.
We have 3 components of pipes that have been working on this campus, and 2 of them are not functioning well. So we've been suffering for fetching water. So it's only one source that is coming. That's why we see most of the boys going for water at the gutters.
When the water is not coming, maybe for a month or going, sometimes I have to bring bath, buy pure water and bath. It comes twice in a month. When the day that it's not coming, that means you have to walk far distance to the spring to get water. Before coming back, sometimes we'll be late for class, which affects academics.
Some students complain they have developed skin rashes, having depended on the untreated water from the gutters.
After bathing, there is small particles like earthworms and tiny frogs in the water, like frogs. It's like your body will be itching you.
I have rashes all over my body because of the water we have been bathing. All my body have scratching your body. I was scratching it, so it will make like there will be a wound at that side. So if you do this, and then it will spoil my body.
Water is not a luxury; it is life, and for these students, their life is being drawn from the gutters.
Authorities here decline speaking on this very water issue. The principal of the school insists that he would not be able to speak until he gets approval from the top. Regardless of this, the student insists there's a water challenge that must be resolved. Faisal Abdul-Idrisu, TV3 News, Mache.
Stay a while on education, as the sector ministry has strongly dismissed claims by education policy think tank EduWatch that nearly 72,000 BEC graduates could miss out on senior high school placements this year. The ministry insists that every qualified candidate will be admitted despite concerns over infrastructure deficits and the scrapping of the double-track system. Correspondent Daniel Opoku has more.
More than 500,000 candidates sat for this year's Basic Education Certificate Examination, the BEC. For many families across the country, Hopes remain high as students anxiously wait placement into various senior high schools in the coming weeks. But a worrying report by education think tank EduWatch has cast doubt over the process. According to the group, nearly 72,000 students risk missing admission due to inadequate infrastructure and the government's decision to phase out a double-track system. EduWatch warns that existing school facilities may struggle to absorb the large number of qualified candidates expected this year. But the Ministry of Education says there is no cause for alarm and assures parents and students that every qualified BEC candidate will be placed in a senior high school. Press Secretary to the Minister for Education, Hashmin Mohammed, says government remains fully committed to ensuring access to secondary education for all eligible students.
All students who will graduate from the BEC will be placed. It is within their right to be placed, provided they sat in the exams, and we have put in enough measures to ensure that we are able to place every student.
The development has since drawn the attention of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT. General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Tanko Musa, says while concerns over the infrastructure remain valid, government must ensure that no child is denied admission.
If you have about 7,072 cannot, then where would they go? Should they go into child labor? Government owes it a duty, and it is a duty. It is a right. It is a right. We are talking about right here. It is a right for these children to go to school.
Meanwhile, the ongoing West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, WASI, both the Ministry of Education and the NAT have emphasized the need for stronger technological systems to combat examination malpractices.
Where we are now, we can emulate what the football world, what they are doing. They have developed VAR. The VAR is to assist the referee. In other jurisdictions, they have deployed monitoring technologies that they have a way of monitoring real time what is happening in all the places where the students are writing exams. You can't copy because you know that the moment you cheat, you are caught.
There have been a lot of concerns about malpractices that has to do with examinations. So we look at all those reports, we engage the relevant stakeholders, and then we'll build up a strategy on how we can enforce supervision and invigilation across all the examination centers.
In more news this evening, hundreds of traders from the 31st December market at Makola in Accra marched to the Jubilee House in a plea for help. At the center of their concerns are 253 traders facing possible relocation under a planned redevelopment project by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Safwa Boahene takes up the story.
For 4 days, sections of the 31st December market building have remained without electricity. When we visited the area, parts of the market were in darkness, forcing some traders, especially tailors and seamstresses, to suspend work.
We are tailors, but we cannot work because there is no light. The regional minister came and promised the meter will be fixed immediately, but nothing has happened yet.
But beyond the blackouts lies an even bigger fear, uncertainty over the future.
They want to demolish the building where I trade. This is my livelihood, and we have nowhere to go. If they remove us, we will suffer because this is how we feed our families.
The traders say they support development, but have not been told where they would operate during construction or whether they would regain their spaces afterward.
All that they want is they want to reconstruct the building and relocate. They said they were going to give us priorities. But they will do that, but after that, if you don't have any standing agreement with them, they are not bound. Like I said, maybe 2, 3 or 4 years. Can you wait? And if you wait and then it's ready, you say, okay, give it to the highest bidder. If you need to give you a concession, it will be so high that you can't even afford. You don't even know when it's going to be completed. And these are the issues that we wanted to address, even in a round table, and they will not give any opportunity for us to discuss. And that is why we're insisting on trying to agree on paper as to the things that we oblige, and then they also oblige to do.
Those frustrations spilled onto the streets Friday morning as bus loads of traders made their way from Mokola to Jubilee House to petition the presidency for intervention.
The petition is saying that, first of all, they should give us a place while the reconstruction is to go on. Thirdly, the real allocation must be there. Okay, there's agreement, the standing agreement. There should be a standing agreement to be signed by both parties, so that we are sure that when we go, we are coming back to the same place. And then we should be given sufficient notice to quit. It's not just about 1 month, but it should be more than 1 month, at least 6 months or more.
With the matter already before the courts, the traders say they are now looking to the presidency for answers, fearing the continued uncertainty could cost them not just their shops, but also their livelihoods. Safa Boyne, TV3 News, Accra Business.
Let's do some politics now. The General Secretary of the governing NDC, Fifi Fiavikwete, has lamented the influx of persons who do not understand the values and foundations of the party, but he says are only in for what they can gain. At a briefing outlining the party's activities ahead of the June 4 celebrations, Mr. Kwete added that such individuals need to be reoriented by the party.
The National Democratic Congress (NDC) has declared the month of June as a period for remembrance and recommitment beginning Friday, May 15th. This celebration will be observed annually to commemorate the event of June 4th. General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Fiavikwete, advised members of the NDC to put the country above themselves, just as the founder, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings, did in 1979.
Political party as well, you have people who really are here, they don't even understand what the NDC is about. They don't know what the values of the NDC stands for. You never see them on any program that has to do with the real values of the NDC. So, for example, you have in June 4, they will never appear. 31st December, you never see them. Even the party's anniversary, you never see them. But if there's an opportunity for a sharing of some booty, the queue, they'll be the first in the queue. And so these are opportunities to constantly tell people that this party is fundamentally about making sure that the empowerment of the people is number one. This party is not about individuals, it's about the group. So if the reason why you join this party is simply because you are looking for a cash cow for yourself, then you are in the wrong party.
The commemoration will culminate on June 22nd, what would have been Rawlings' 79th birthday, with a Founders' Day event in collaboration with the Jerry Rawlings Foundation.
On June 22nd, which actually will be the 79th birthday anniversary of the founder of the NDC, the champion jockey, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. That day will be commemorated as the Founders' Day. And the Jerry John Rawlings Foundation, so we're going to have a collaboration with the Jerry John Rawlings Foundation on that day.
The NDC says this year's observance is not merely ceremonial, but a critical effort to reconnect younger generations with the party's ideological foundations.
Work has finally commenced on sections of the long-delayed Bole-Sola-Wa Road. The development follows mounting pressure from youth groups and concerned citizens in the Upper West and Savannah regions over the neglect of the major road project despite it having been awarded on contract. Upper West Regional Correspondent Ibrahim Wangara reports.
The commencement of work on the 195-kilometer Bole-Sola-Wa Road comes barely days after a coalition of youth groups and concerned citizens in the Upper West region issued a 2-week ultimatum to their government. The youth were demanding the immediate start of work on the critical road linking the Upper West region to the Savannah and Puna East regions. Days after their petition, coupled with a visit and engagement by the Minister for Roads and Highways, workers of Maripoma Construction Company were seen clearing and working along sections of the highway. The concerned youth who visited the Tanina, Ga, and Sola sections of the stretch expressed mixed reactions. Isahaku Suleimana Sulega is the lead convener.
I'm happy that we have been able to do this, but I'm not happy because why should they wait for us to get to this end? Because if they had started long ago, for 5 months past, this wouldn't have been the extent of work that would have been done. Better late than never, but they could have done much better if they had come earlier. And we wish to say that we are not ending at this age. We would have to come back again.
The site engineer for Maripoma Construction Company, Yomin Chiang, assured the group that work on the road would be completed within 2 to 3 years.
How long are you expected to finish the work?
How long? Maybe 2 or 3 years from Sola to Wa. So we maybe finish this work in 2 or 3 years.
A commercial driver also shed light on the impact of the road on commuters and transport operators.
We want the contractors to first to do the road for us. It's not that we are suffering. It's supposed to Wa and Sola 1 hour, 30 minutes or 1 hour, but now 3 hours. It's very, very bad. We are begging they should help us. Yeah.
The Gassam Cement Foundation has allocated 20,000 bags of cement valued at 1.9 million cedis to education and healthcare institutions across the southern sector of the country. The support is aimed at helping beneficiary institutions improve deteriorating infrastructure to enhance access to quality education and healthcare delivery.
At a ceremony held in Koforidua, a total of 177 selected schools and healthcare institutions of the Greater Accra, East, Central, Western, Volta, and Oti regions received the cement allocation. The latest donation brings the total number of cement bags distributed by the foundation since 2002 to 800,000, with an estimated value of 64 million Ghana cedis. Managing Director of Gassam, Dr. Frank Huber, said the initiative forms part of the foundation's commitment to supporting community development through improved infrastructure. He added the company remains committed to focus on health and education to drive growth and development within communities.
We really believe that health and education are the foundation of our future, the foundation of our children, and that's really what Gassam stands for as a nation builder, to give back to the community and continue to build this great nation. It's also been great to see, so many community leaders, teachers, head teachers that stand up, engage themselves in their communities.
Board chairman of the Gassam Cement Foundation, Anapra Ajinsem, reaffirmed the foundation's commitment to sustainable infrastructure support for communities.
You've had the luck, the privilege of being awarded the cement. You are supposed to use it strictly for the purpose.
Beneficiary headmistress Yvonne Nji lauded Gassam for the intervention.
The children can have a permanent place for their ICT lab and then a science laboratory.
Still watching News 360. Stay with us. We have business, sports and entertainment right after this.
With me, Menu Afol. Now, government has announced a fresh intervention in the pricing of petroleum products, specifically targeting diesel to shield consumers from the impact of rising global fuel prices driven by geopolitical tensions. Following a cabinet meeting chaired by President John Dramani Mahama, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition confirmed that the government will absorb 1.07 cedis per litre on the price of diesel. This new measure is set to take effect on May 16, 2026, and is expected to remain in place for a period of 2 pricing windows subject to further review. Away from that, Finance Minister Kasiel Atoforsen says government has no plans to return to the international capital market in the near term. This comes after Ghana's economy was upgraded to B with a positive outlook following its exit from a junk status rating in previous years. Some economists and industry players say the upgrade presents an opportunity for the country to re-enter the international market to raise funds for critical infrastructure investments. But speaking at a press briefing marking the conclusion of Ghana's International Monetary Fund program, the finance minister said there are no plans to do so this year.
I just want to say that we are not in a hurry to go to the international capital market. And if we find a need for us to go to the international capital market, we will accordingly inform the people of Ghana. One thing is for sure, the 2027 budget never assumed for us to go to the international capital. 2026 budget never assumed that we are going to go to the capital market for any form of financing. So it is off the table, at least for this year. In the medium term, it will depend on what the government seeks to do. But I can assure you that we are not in a hurry to go back to the...
In more news tonight, Ghana's financial sector recorded strong growth and improved resilience in 2025, with total sector assets rising by 23.2% to 647.25 billion Ghana cedis. According to regulators, the country is moving from economic stress toward financial stability.
The Financial Stability Council has launched the 2025 Financial Stability Review, highlighting signs of recovery and stronger resilience within Ghana's financial sector following recent economic shocks and debt restructuring challenges. Delivering remarks on behalf of the Governor of the Bank of Ghana and Chair of the Financial Stability Council, Matilda Asante-Esiedu said total financial sector assets expanded by 23.2%, equivalent to 45.1% of Ghana's GDP.
The financial sector was more resilient, bolstered by strong profitability and solvency positions across all the 4 financial industries. Various initiatives have been undertaken to further strengthen the financial sector and will continue to do that going forward.
The second Deputy Governor said regulators are also implementing new measures, including enhanced monitoring of risks within the virtual asset space following the passage of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Act.
The Council has also tasked the Technical Committee to develop a risk matrix for monitoring risks within that space. And this is to ensure that while innovation is encouraged, it is balanced with financial stability considerations.
We'll end the business segment here, but we have more stories coming your way. I am Menu Afol. Stay with us.
Dreams make the world go round, which is why we make supporting SMEs a top priority. At Republic Bank, our dedicated SME unit offers easy
The Sports News segment is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Quad.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. Ghana's hopes of winning gold in the men's 4x100-meter relay at the Africa Senior Athletics Championships ended in disappointment after the host nation had to settle for bronze in a thrilling final, despite entering the final with strong expectation after a blistering semi-final performance where they won heat 2 in a time of 38.69 seconds ahead of Botswana. The Ghanaian team was unable to replicate that pace when it mattered most in the final showdown. In a similar fashion, Ghana's women's 4x100-meter relay team also impressed, securing bronze with a time of 44.85 seconds. My colleague Billy Shen was at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium on day 4 and filed this report.
Day 4 has just ended with Ghana clinching 2 more medals to take their medal tally to 5. But there is a bit of a disappointment because the stronghold, the one which Ghanaians didn't expect Ghana to at least get the gold medal, was the 4x100-meter men's event, where unfortunately the quartet of Edwin Gadayi, Abdul Rashid Saminu, Joseph Polamwa, and also Ibrahim Fusaini finished with a time of 38.74 seconds, which was slower than what they recorded in the semis. But there was some joy because Ghana clinched bronze in the 4x100-meter female event, actually with a time of just over 44 seconds and a team comprising mostly of SHS students. But there will be a 200-meter event that will be happening on day 5 with the likes of Joseph Poamwa, who has confirmed he will be in the 200, alongside Ibrahim Fusaini. And so there will be some more opportunities for Ghana to get a gold medal, at least in the events. But so far, Ghana has 5 medals, which is more than the tally that they earned in Douala in the 2024 African Senior Athletics Championship. Bilishan for P Sport from the University of Ghana Stadium.
Well, 2 more days to go in the African Senior Athletics Championships, and we'll be bringing you updates as and when. However, let's move on now to women's football. Making its 8th consecutive appearance at the global showpiece, the Black Princesses have been drawn in Group C, where they will face European giants France alongside Asian side Korea Republic and then Ecuador from South America. The draw was held in Poland earlier on Friday, setting the stage for a thrilling competition. Our women's football expert Kosia J assesses the Black Princesses' prospects and chances as they aim to make a strong impact at the tournament.
In September 2026, Ghana and 23 other nations will gather in Poland for the U20 Women's World Cup. Ghana, who will be making their 8th appearance, have been paired in Group C alongside Ecuador, who are making their first appearance at the tournament. France, who have made 9 different appearances at the tournament, and South Korea, who just like Ghana, will also be making their 8th appearance at the tournament. And time again, there's been just one question that has been asked with this Black Princesses team. When will the time come for the team to finally qualify out of the group stage? From different conversations we have had with Coach Charles Sampson, he says the time is now for the Princesses to finally move out of the group stage at this particular tournament. But come September, we would indeed know if the Princesses have dotted all their I's and crossed their T's to make sure that this is indeed the time for them to finally move out of the group stage after 8 appearances.
Now, before we go, Dutch Eredivisie club NAC Breda have agreed to not pick up the second-year option in the contracts of Ghana Black Stars duo Dede Ayew and Dennis Odoi. This development comes on the back of the club's relegation from the Dutch top flight after finishing 17th in the 18-team league standings. Both players were acquired during the 2025-2026 season, with Odoi being signed in November 2025, while Andre Ayew joined the Dutch side in January 2026. Odoi featured in 19 games for NAC Breda, while Dede Ayew played just 16 games, scoring 1 goal, which came in a 3-3 draw against Feyenoord.
or you can get more updates on our social media handles at 3sports.gh. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
and overlord of the Dagbon Kingdom. His Royal Majesty Indaniana Abubakar II is encouraging Ghanaians not to be ashamed of their traditional names and rich Ghanaian culture and instead embrace them. Now, he made the remarks during a courtesy call on him by staff of Media General as part of preparations for Ghana's Most Beautiful at 20th anniversary.
Ghana's Most Beautiful, GMB, is an annual beauty pageant and reality television series in Ghana, produced and broadcast by TV3 and Media General. The event features contestants from the country's 16 administrative regions who showcase traditional cultural attire performances and advocacy for social causes to promote national unity and heritage. For 20 years and counting, the reality show has occupied the television screens of many homes, giving them a full and matched entertainment. As part of the preparations for the 20th anniversary celebration, staff of Media General, including the production team of Ghana's Most Beautiful, were warmly received at the Gbewa Palace in Yendi by the overlord of Dagbon, Yana Abubakar II. Show presenter Johnny Hughes said the visit is to thank the chiefs for their continued support for the program.
On behalf of Media General, we thank you for opening your doors to us, and we appreciate it. This love and dedication and honor that has been given to us or bestowed to us. And we want to pledge that we will also uphold and push Dagbon interests where it matters most, so that in the end, Ghana will prosper.
The paramount chief of Zagbolong traditional area, Dr. Jacob Yakubu, speaking on behalf of the Yana Abubakar II, who was of praise for TV3, said the cultural show has demonstrated a counterforce to Western culture.
Our cultures define who we are, where we come from, and the values that guide us. When young people know their culture, they carry themselves with dignity. When communities preserve their traditions, they maintain social cohesion. When a nation celebrates its diverse cultures, it builds unity in diversity. Programs like Ghana's Most Beautiful ensures these treasures are not buried in the past, but presented vibrantly to contemporary audiences. One of Ghana's most beautiful greatest achievements is demonstrating that celebrating our individual cultures strengthens rather than weakens our national unity. The Dagbon Kingdom is proud to be associated with this cultural milestone.
The king gifted John Hughes a beautiful smock to herald the 20th anniversary celebrations.
Now to some more stories. After weeks of thrilling reality TV moments, the stage is finally set for the grand finale of Perfect Match Extra Season 4. With only 4 couples remaining, Ghana will soon decide which pair will walk away with the ultimate title of Perfect Match. The finalists, Desi and Nadia, Tyclev and Coco, Ken and Aram and Papi and Priskari, are ready for one final showdown. Please do make sure to join us tomorrow as we go for the grand finale of Perfect Match Extra. I will be right here on the TV3 premises. That's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you, Noel. And before we just bring you some international news updates, and Africa's top health agency has declared an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC's Eastern Ituri province. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, said around 246 cases and 65 deaths have been reported, mainly in the gold mining towns of Mongwalu and Wampara. Its statement on Friday added that it was convening a meeting with DR Congo, neighboring Uganda and South Sudan, and other international partners to discuss priorities, including response efforts and cross-border surveillance.
It's always a pleasure sharing the 1 hour with you. We bring you stories from around the country and around the world. Thank you very much for watching. That's it for the bulletin. My name is Martin Asiedu Date.
And I'm Bernice Abubeidu Lansa. Have a good evening.